Welcome to episode 6 of Stronger Together. And I am so excited for our guest today. I know you guys have heard me talking about him and bragging about his seminars that he's been doing, but I'm still in awe of all the success that he's having. And Matt, thank you for joining us today. So for those of you that don't know Matt is one of our sales managers, and he is out of Visalia. He's a Visalia Builder branch up there, and he has been successfully conducting homebuyer seminars since October.
Since October. Yep.
Okay. So Matt's going to talk to us a little bit about that. I'm so impressed with what you're doing, Matt, and I really want you to share with everybody because I still can't believe it. Like I tell everybody who will listen about what an awesome job you're doing on this. So tell us a little bit about how you got started and what this entails and what you're doing right now with these.
Yeah, sure, Brenda. So I got the idea attending a breakout session in 2019. There was a guest speaker up there who was just full of energy, and everyone, was having a great time listening to him. And some of the ideas he discussed, it combined a lot of the activities I think that makes a successful originator. So I had the thought in the back of my mind for a long time and attempted it for the first time in 2022. It was a complete failure. Nobody showed up except for about 20 realtors. And then we just carried on like everything was fine, got everything on video, and thought it might be good marketing content later. And, ducked under the radar for a couple of years and reappeared back in October with a new partnership. And it's been going ever since.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about your structure. So you currently are doing, and let's make sure everybody understands, Visalia, California is somewhere between Fresno and Bakersfield. It sits in Tulare County, and it's pretty much a rural market. And you're averaging how many people per seminar right now?
So we average about 100 per seminar right now. Yeah.
That to me is just crazy. So 100 people. So right now you partner with a real estate group?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I partner with a realtor. He is very good at the videography side. He was creative director of a marketing company prior to this. So our skill sets just really align nicely. And it's another realtor on his team, Marissa. She's really good too at follow-up. And for us, the big thing is how do we get attendance? And then what do we do post-event? It's the follow-up, and that's really where it pays off. Or, you don't have a good event, because with 100 to 150 new leads, we generate more leads than attendees per event. If the follow-up isn't there, then, why have the event in the first place?
Right. Yeah. That's amazing. So tell me, so let's walk through a little bit. So you guys are advertising, obviously. So you're putting a video together. I've seen your stuff. It looks so professional. I can't believe that you didn't hire somebody. It's this agent that's doing it. So great job on that. So you guys, how soon do you advertise before you start doing these events?
Yeah, we'll usually go hard on the advertising about 2 weeks prior to the event.
Okay, and so when you advertise, are you paying like Facebook? Are you doing targeted ads? What is it you're doing? Are you just putting it on everybody's social media? How are you getting people to see it?
Yeah, so we combine approaches there. So we'll do a little bit of ads. We'll do flyers. We'll post it a lot, and we'll reach out a lot to past clients. That's probably where most of the attendees originate. And it's also a great exercise in keeping them warm. So it's a good reason, right? Because I was always told, there's 3 reasons to follow up with someone: to tell them about something interesting or useful, to set an appointment, or to invite them to something. So it kind of does all 3 of those. So that's been a big driver, right? With a flyer, we can touch them. And then I've used what's it called? The Reach app. I heard John mention that on one of these, as well as live broadcasts to the lists. And that's a really good way to just stay in their faces a little bit. And we'll see a pretty good turnout from that. We'll put up flyers in local businesses. a lot of them are really supportive of what we're doing. And this idea of pushing out home ownership, making it more accessible, and just getting the right information out there. So it's really kind of caught on at the community level too, which is always a nice push towards.
That's awesome, Matt. That's really awesome. So tell me, okay, so you get 100 people, you following up. I get that. You're calling, texting, doing all these things up until the day, I'm assuming, of the event to remind them. What happens at the event?
At the event, that's a really good question. So this is probably the first one where we've been super intentional about the content of the presentation itself. For us, we were really consumed by getting attendance and then follow up after. So we spent very little time, and we rehearsed it a little bit, especially early on. And then we noticed, well, our presentation's falling off, and it's not, and it was very uninspired. So on this one, we're like rehearsing a lot. And the key thing for us on this event is to keep it brief enough. We're trying to rotate faces probably every 5 minutes if you're a main presenter. So I'll go, or Marissa goes up first. She'll tell, her story, which is very emotional and driving. It's what got her into real estate. I'll go up, kind of do my commitment and passion story, go into the loan process, and then bring up a credit repair specialist. So we try to just relate all of the steps in home ownership, which is very complicated, and there's a lot of them. And we'll let that dictate the order of the presentation. And then Leo, we'll talk a little bit about equity. Leo will wrap with some of his personal wins as far as starting in a successful Airbnb, right? He covers the real estate investing aspects, multifamily homes. And then we get into the guest speakers, and we have a couple, the first two, it's about longevity. How are you protecting this asset that you just worked so hard to acquire? So the first is mortgage protection through life insurance. Rich will talk about that. What happens in the unlikely event, God forbid, something happens to someone? How do we maintain that same quality of life? Then more long-term, how do we ensure that this home passes as intended to subsequent generations? And then we'll go into usually a more ancillary topic. What we've been doing lately has been interior design for the purpose of maybe getting value up if we're selling, of helping to save time and make the designs go together if you're a buyer. If you're Airbnb or an investor, how do we optimize what the intended use of the property is? And she'll cover that. She does a great job. And we'll end with something interesting. Lately, we've been doing assisted living. So we have an assisted living consultant, James, who has a background in nursing. Now he's a assisted living consultant. And it's just an opportunity to really leverage real estate and make a lot of revenue as a result, and to help people. So we'll wrap with a Q&A usually after that, and then we'll do like a meet and greet until people leave, and most of them stick around.
So Matt, there's a lot going on in what you said, and I'm sitting here thinking, oh my gosh, how long is this seminar really? Sounds like it's really long, but really, how long is it?
It's about an hour to maybe an hour and 15 tops. Yeah. Guest speaker.
I just want to make sure everybody understood. You're not up there for 2 hours.
It's a lot. It's fast.
And then tell me about the setup of your thing, because I know that there's some unique things that you do. So the setup of your seminar, like you have a DJ, I heard.
Right. Yeah. Okay. The entertainment aspect is huge. It's a seminar, but it's not, right? You really have it's a show. It's like you're entertaining, right? That's what it was. I remember the first thing I heard, and I was just like, wow, this is wild. It's like, is this a seminar? Larry, the guy who really does these well, 2,600 a month, or 2,600 total closing back in 2019. So it's probably way more. But he would say, no, it's not a seminar. It's a show, baby. That's what That's what I took away from it. And it's true because a lot of people will just get up there and talk, and you lose people quickly. You'll see in the audience that people are just kind of like getting a little antsy, so that's been the big progress in my mind, because if you do a good job there, it's going to be a really sticky type of client relationship, and you want them to leave inspired by the dynamic that you set up, which are a lot of people. Like, people don't just show up like, oh, hey babe, I see this sign for this seminar, let's go
Right.
here. It's not like that. They're there for a reason.
Right.
And so it's really on us to make it both educational, entertaining, and also just inspiring, motivational. And we deal a lot with the fears too. So another thing too that we picked up is you want to make a great first impression, and we'll provide food, no host bar usually, lots of caffeine, lots of sugar, lots of high carbs, right? And we'll spend a decent amount of the budget on food.
Okay, so you bring up another good point. So I have a DJ, I have all these speakers, I have really good food. I'm assuming the venue is probably set up to have that same kind of ambience, like you're really trying to set a good first impression is what I'm getting from that. What's my budget? Am I spending $5,000 on every one of these? Like, what am I spending?
Yeah, it varies, and I'll give you some examples. So the first ones we did, DJ, we would shoot the ads, right? And then we would shoot the video. And fortunately, Leo edits everything. So we were spending maybe $1,000 because we didn't have a lot to put in. The idea behind the budget, in my mind, it's experience and then scaling. So once we had a couple in our belt, got some closings done, we went probably a little bit over budget of where we should have been. And we did the country club. So, we got hit with, I think, $3,600 food, including food. But then we had a DJ expense, advertising expense. It was worth it. They're worth it, but it's not a light initial budget. Then for the next one, we did a wedding venue, great space. It was an indoor venue. Cost us around $1,600, and I don't think we did food on that one. No host bar, so we were under $3,000. And for these past two, it's an outdoor wedding venue, and one of the agents on Leo's team is super supportive. They're like, hey, why don't you come here? We try to help them get some eyeballs, and this one we're probably around $1,500 to $2,000. Yeah.
And how many? So to me, 1,500 is well worth the investment. And you're splitting it, I'm assuming, with the agents. It's not just you footing the bill, I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then so how many? I lost my train of thought of what I was going to ask you. Dang it. The 1,500.
Yeah.
That seems reasonable to me. How many deals have you closed?
Out of these, man, I didn't count, but I know from the very first one, there's been 7 closings and there were 20 people. Yeah. What really inspired the idea was the high conversion rate. It was made known to us that it's probably a longer type of converting, but the cool part is it's not a Zillow where you're spending $1,000 and having to compete. You're getting to these people first and they're coming to you. That's right. So a lot of times it is, let me explore this idea. Maybe I have the idea of buying towards the end of this year. And I love the agent perspective here, because it's like, okay, what does that mean? Cut that timeline in half, right? So if they're saying at the end of the year, that means in June. And so they're kind of right there. And then with the follow-up, with the touches, doing the stuff that's a given, what's really expected of us, we're seeing that they're converting I would say closer to shorter length, maybe moderate length. It's not a super long-term converting type that we were expecting. But as far as, like a general expectation, I would say if you get 48 people, you should get 15 closings out of that. So 15 closings per event if you get 48 people, and you do a good job on follow-up.
Well worth the $1,500. Pays for itself many
Yeah.
times over.
Agreed.
So
Agreed.
awesome. I love this idea. We went way over the 10 minutes. You guys were really sorry, but I think all of this information is important. And Matt, I know that you just started doing these in October. I know you're having great success. I'm going to have you back on in a couple months because we want to hear, because I know you're going to continue to do these things and you're gaining more momentum as we speak. And lucky for me, I get to be a part of your seminar next week. I'm going to come up there and see it. So I'll have a little bit fresher look about it and I can talk a little bit more about it. So thank you for being on the podcast.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for having me on.
And congratulations. Great job.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it.
All right. We'll see you guys on the next Stronger Together.
Thanks.